Be a Better You Annual Challenge, Day 8. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we are talking about your core values. We're going to identify our core values, we're going to take a little gander at them, and then we're going to figure out, and maybe not prioritize, but look at them and say, okay, what are my top, I always like to say 3, but I think let's go top 10 because it's in any area or aspect of your life. What is most important to you? And that's the question we want to ask ourselves. First and foremost is, what matters to me? What matters to me most? What is my line in the sand? What do I stand for? What do I stand against? And what is critical and essential for me to have in my life? I already brainstormed 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've already got 20 or so on my brainstormed list. The first thing I like to do, if you've never done a core values exercise before or identified your core values, I like to go online, Google it, because when we Google it, we get millions of results, which is way too many. So we just look at the first few like everybody else does. And we say, okay, here's other people's examples or how to identify core values. You just ask yourself, what's important to me? And then you write that down. So for me, for example, I asked myself, what's important to me? And I got love, continuous improvement, love for myself and others, kindness, treat others the way I want to be treated, add value, relationships and the impact on all that I come in contact with, communication in a positive way, because sometimes I'm not always the most positive communicator. Thinking for myself is really core and central to me. I know that, like everybody else on the planet, I'm influenced by what I read, what I see, what I listen to, what I watch, who I talk to, who I interact with, who I pay attention to. But I have to still take all of that, filter out the noise, and choose and do and take responsibility for what's right for me. The decisions and the choices that I make are 100% my responsibility. Do we always make the right decisions and choices? I wish. Certainly don't. But I wish that I did. Of course we wish that we did. But that's another core value of mine, is learning from my mistakes, lessons learned. I want to be an example, not a warning. I think I've said that for several decades. I want to make the world a better place. And I know that a lot of people say that, but I want the world to be better because I was here for a short amount of time. I don't want it to be worse. And not everybody believes that. Not everybody, that's not important to, actually, probably a lot of people on the planet, that's not important to at all. I want to show up authentically and with integrity. You know, what you see is what you get. And I've got over 8,000, almost 9,000 videos online. So if you don't know who I am or what I stand for, watch a couple videos. It comes out in every one. And then do what's right or do what's next. What's the next right thing to do? And then I do that. I don't just sit and do nothing, although sometimes I want to just sit and do nothing, because I think that we need to recharge our batteries and take care of ourselves. And self-care is not on my list, but it sure ought to be. I guess love self and others it is. So what are we going to do today? Identify our core values. And I start by brainstorming a list. Then I look at that list and I think about it. I say, okay, well, what things are similar? What could I combine? To me, authenticity, integrity, honesty, those all kind of go together in one grouping. Continuous improvement and growth, that is definitely one of my friends. Creativity, I don't even have creativity on here. Gotta write that down before I forget. So creativity is one of my favorite core values things. Creative problem solving, automating what can be automated. Automation is a real, or making things a habit is imperative to me, because we need to take some of the things that we want to do that move us toward our goals and objectives and make them automatic so we don't have to consciously think about them. One of the most powerful things we can do is get our subconscious working in our favor and creating the life that we want and the things that we want in our life for us without us having to consciously use our conscious mind and energy to create it. And habits to me, and automations are habits, do that and help me to do that, to help me to leverage my time and energy and efforts in ways that I could never do if I didn't look toward continuous improvement, automation, habits, etc. So we're going to brainstorm a list today. We're going to pick maybe the top 10 or top 10 categories, because that's more than enough. And then just share what you learned from doing this exercise, or share, like if I look at this list, my core values have been the same for probably the vast majority of my life. Why? Because our core values are central to who we are, our identity, our being, our soul, whatever you want to call it. Any questions? If you need help with this, I've literally done this exercise hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times for myself and with other people. So if you need help, or you're struggling, you're like, I don't even know where to start thinking about my core values, always ask yourself, what do you want? When you don't know where to start, say, well, what do I want? And once you know what you want and look at where you are, all of a sudden you know exactly what the next right thing to do is. All right, have an awesome day. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow to help us all become a better version of ourselves this year. Have a great day.